Listen up, because what I'm about to share could literally be the defining factor between you building substantial wealth and watching your hard-earned money vanish before your very eyes. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned pro or just dipping your toes into investing. This message is for everyone. We are charging into a financial landscape that is utterly merciless to those who cling to a safe strategy. And when I say merciless, I mean it will systematically dismantle the purchasing power of anyone who thinks sitting on cash is a smart move. They're not being smart, they're being incredibly naive. Now, before we get deep into the specifics, I need you to take action right this second. Hit that subscribe button, smash it. Why? Because the insights I share on this channel are meticulously crafted to help you grow your money, shield your wealth, and equip you with the very strategies the truly affluent deploy daily. If you're not subscribed, you're actively choosing to miss out on knowledge that could redefine your financial trajectory. So no more hesitation, do it now. And while you're at it, give this video a like, and then in the comments below, tell me honestly, what percentage of your total portfolio is currently sitting in cash? I need to know, because I'm betting some of you are making a monumental error. Let's face the cold, hard truth. Cash is trash. I've been hammering this home for years, and it's never been more acutely true than it is right now. You might lull yourself into a false sense of security, thinking your money is safe in a savings account, earning a measly 2%, 3%, maybe even 4% in a high-yield account. Let me disabuse you of that notion. You're not just doing okay, you're actively losing money day after excruciating day. Inflation is a silent, insidious predator, relentlessly devouring your wealth. As you sleep, convinced your cash is tucked away securely, its real value is bleeding out. The cost of virtually everything, your groceries, your gas, your housing, your health care, is escalating at a pace far outstripping the pitiful interest your bank pays you. Let's put this into terms everyone can grasp. Imagine you have $100,000 collecting dust in cash. If inflation is truly running at 5% or 6%, and trust me, it's almost certainly higher than what the official numbers suggest, you're hemorrhaging between $5,000 and $6,000 in purchasing power every single year. That's not theoretical, that's tangible money literally dissolving into thin air. Your bank statement might still show $100,000, but in terms of what that money can actually buy you, you are undeniably getting poorer each month. This, my friends, is financial suicide, and I witness people committing it all the time. You know what truly drives me insane? When people approach me eyes wide with misplaced caution and declare, "Kevin, I'm just being careful. I'm patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity. I simply can't afford to take risks right now." And I look them dead in the eye and say, "You, my friend, are taking the biggest risk of all. You are accepting the guaranteed risk of losing money, because that's precisely what holding cash is, a guaranteed loss. At least when you strategically invest, you unlock the potential for your wealth to grow. But simply sitting on a pile of cash, that's not caution, that's pure ignorance." Now, I can hear some of you already thinking, "But Kevin, what about a recession? What if the market crashes? Shouldn't I keep a war chest of cash on the sidelines ready to deploy?" And my answer is unequivocally, yes, you absolutely need liquidity. Every savvy investor understands the importance of liquidity. However, there's a colossal distinction between strategic liquidity and pathologically hoarding cash as if you're bracing for the literal apocalypse. Strategic liquidity means having enough accessible funds to cover genuine emergencies. I'm talking about 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses, maybe a bit more if it helps you sleep soundly at night. But beyond that, every single additional dollar you leave languishing in cash is a dollar that isn't actively working for your financial future. Let me tell you something critical about truly wealthy individuals. They don't hoard cash. What they do hold are assets. Assets that reliably generate income, assets that appreciate steadily in value, assets that tirelessly work for them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're talking about tangible real estate, robust stocks, stable bonds, thriving businesses, essential commodities. These are the powerful vehicles that systematically build monumental wealth. Cash, on the other hand, is merely the tool you use to acquire those vehicles. It's a means, not an end. If you're currently clutching massive sums of cash, you're fundamentally misusing the tool. Here's the terrifying reality unfolding right now, one that should send shivers down the spine of anyone clinging to cash. Central banks across the globe have unleashed more money into the system over the past few years than at any other point in recorded human history. And what happens when you flood a system with an overwhelming supply of money? The intrinsic value of each individual dollar inevitably plummets. It's foundational economics. Too much supply equals lower value. Your cash is being systematically diluted day after excruciating day by monetary policies completely beyond your control. You cannot stop this. You cannot fight it. The only thing you can do is aggressively protect yourself by moving out of cash and into real assets that steadfastly hold their value, or even better, increase in value. Think of it this way. If I presented you with an investment opportunity that guaranteed you would lose money, would you willingly pour your hard-earned savings into it? Of course not. Yet that is precisely what you are doing when you stubbornly hold cash in this current economic climate. You are actively choosing the guaranteed loser over the immense potential of winners. It defies all logic. It makes absolutely no sense. And yet I constantly observe intelligent, well-educated, and even successful people making this exact devastating mistake every single day. It drives me absolutely mad because they are working directly against their own financial best interests. So, let me cut straight to the chase and tell you exactly what you should be doing instead. This is where we transition into the concrete strategy, the proven playbook that I personally employ, and that every truly smart investor utilizes to both protect and robustly grow their wealth. And I'm going to be unequivocally specific here because I have no patience for vague, unhelpful advice. I believe only in actionable, clear steps that you can implement today, right now, as soon as this video concludes. First and foremost, dividend-paying stocks. This, my friends, is my bread and butter. This is where a significant portion of my own formidable portfolio resides, and for very compelling reasons. When you own dividend-paying stocks, you're not just buying a piece of paper. You're acquiring genuine ownership in real businesses that generate tangible cash flow. And these reliable businesses, in turn, pay you every single quarter, like clockwork. This is the essence of passive income. You literally wake up in the morning and money has been deposited directly into your account. That's the dream, isn't it? That's the unmistakable hallmark of true wealth. Now, I'm certainly not talking about speculative fly-by-night garbage. I'm not advocating for some unproven tech startup that has never turned a profit and likely never will. I'm talking about robust, stable, utterly reliable companies, established utilities, resilient consumer staples, foundational healthcare providers, solid financial services firms, companies that have diligently paid dividends for decades, and crucially, companies that consistently increase their dividends year after year after year. These aren't just businesses, they are veritable cash flow machines. And in an inflationary environment, many of these powerhouses possess the ability to raise their prices, which directly translates to soaring profits, which in turn means your dividends continue to climb. Your cash languishing in the bank, its real value is shrinking. But a well-constructed dividend portfolio, that's either keeping pace with inflation or more often decisively beating it. Let me give you some hard numbers because I adore numbers. If you invest in a judiciously diversified portfolio of dividend aristocrats, those elite companies that have increased their dividends for 25 consecutive years or more, you can realistically achieve a yield of 3% to 4% with relative ease. But here's where the magic truly happens. That's just the yield. The underlying stock prices also steadily appreciate over time. So you're collecting your 3% to 4% in consistent dividends plus robust capital appreciation. Over the long term, we're talking about total annual returns of 8%, 10%, even 12%. Now, compare that to your savings account, which is meekly handing you 3% while inflation voraciously devours 5% of your money. There's no comparison. They're not even in the same financial universe. The second critical component you must understand is bonds. I know, bonds are perceived as boring. Everyone thinks bonds are exclusively for retirees, but let me tell you something profound. bonds are experiencing a significant resurgence right now. After years of historically low interest rates, we've witnessed rates spike dramatically. And when rates are elevated, bonds once again become incredibly attractive. You can now lock in impressive yields of 5, 6, even 7% on high-quality corporate bonds and government bonds. That's not theoretical income. That's real, guaranteed income. And unlike stocks, bonds possess a defined maturity date. You know precisely when you'll receive your principal back. This element is all about balance. You don't indiscriminately put everything into stocks, and you certainly don't put everything into bonds. You meticulously construct a diversified portfolio that generates consistent income from multiple robust sources, simultaneously affording you critical stability when markets inevitably become choppy. Here's a glimpse into my own personal portfolio strategy. I ladder my bonds. This means I strategically acquire bonds with staggered maturity dates, some maturing in 1 year, some in 3, some in 5, some in 10. This intelligent approach ensures that I consistently have bonds maturing, allowing me to reinvest that capital at whatever the prevailing market rates are at that moment. If interest rates ascend, fantastic, I reinvest at even higher rates. If rates decline, I'm still securely holding bonds I shrewdly purchased when rates were strong. It's a sophisticated strategy that brilliantly smooths out volatility and guarantees I'm always earning something substantial. Meanwhile, your cash in the bank is merely idling, doing precisely nothing, being steadily eroded by the relentless tide of inflation. The third foundational pillar, and this is absolutely critical, is real estate. Now, I'm not suggesting everyone needs to immediately rush out and buy a rental property, although if you possess the means and opportunity, you absolutely should. Real estate stands as one of the most powerful and time-tested wealth-building instruments in human history. But if directly owning physical property isn't feasible for you, there's an incredibly effective alternative. You can invest in real estate investment trusts, AREITs. These are publicly traded companies that own and operate income-producing real estate. Think sprawling apartment complexes, bustling office buildings, vibrant shopping centers, vast warehouses. When you purchase shares in a REIT, you are in essence becoming a landlord without enduring the headaches of dealing with tenants, maintenance calls, or any of those logistical nightmares. And here's the golden rule. REITs are legally mandated to pay out a staggering 90% of their taxable income as dividends. This translates to truly massive yields, frequently in the 5% to 7% range or even higher. Plus, real estate inherently tends to appreciate over time, and rents generally rise in tandem with inflation. So you're simultaneously securing robust income and critical inflation protection. It's an undeniable double win. I simply cannot overstate the profound importance of integrating real estate into your portfolio, especially in the current economic climate. We are grappling with a severe housing shortage across this entire nation. Demand is soaring through the roof, while supply remains stubbornly limited. That's basic economics 101. When demand far outstrips supply, prices inexorably climb. If you own real estate, either directly or through REITs, you are a direct beneficiary of this powerful trend. If you're idly sitting in cash, you're merely spectating from the sidelines as property values and rental rates relentlessly ascend, capturing precisely none of that immense upside. It's genuinely painful to witness. Now let's address the crucial concept of diversification, because I know some of you are understandably concerned. Kevin, you might ask, what if I pour all my money into stocks and the market suddenly crashes? What if I buy bonds and interest rates swing unexpectedly? What if real estate values plummet? These are entirely legitimate concerns, and the robust answer is always diversification. You strategically spread your risk across multiple distinct asset classes. You emphatically do not put all your precious eggs into one fragile basket. An intelligently diversified portfolio might look something like 50% stocks, 30% bonds, and 20% real estate, or perhaps a 40-40-20 split. The precise percentages are, of course, tailored to your individual age, your personal risk tolerance, and your specific financial objectives. But the overarching principle remains: You are not dangerously concentrated in any single asset. And most critically, you are absolutely not sitting idly in cash, earning nothing, while inflation systematically destroys your purchasing power. When you diversify correctly, you're actively constructing a portfolio that possesses the inherent resilience to weather virtually any financial storm. Markets crash, your bonds and real estate provide a vital cushion. Interest rates surge, your dividend stocks and REITs skillfully adjust. Inflation runs rampant, your real assets diligently keep pace. This, my friends, is the unequivocal blueprint for protecting your existing wealth and, more importantly, for aggressively building new wealth. And this precisely is what you utterly cannot achieve if you remain paralyzed by fear, ignorance, or a crippling combination of both, stubbornly clinging to cash. Allow me to share a cautionary tale that perfectly illustrates this point. Years ago, I encountered an investor who was sitting on a staggering $3 million in cash. $3 million just languishing in a low-interest savings account, earning essentially nothing. I pressed him for an explanation, and he explained he was waiting for the perfect opportunity. He was convinced the market was due for a massive crash, at which point he'd swoop in and buy stocks at rock-bottom prices. I looked at him directly, and with all due respect, I told him, "You're an idiot. You're making an utterly idiotic decision." And you know what happened? He waited, and he waited, and he continued to wait. Meanwhile, the market surged, up 20%, then 30%, then a full 40%. He missed every single ounce of that extraordinary growth. And even when there were small corrections, minor pullbacks, he still refused to buy, perpetually convinced that an even more catastrophic crash was just around the corner. Fast forward to today, he's still sitting on cash. And that original $3 million now possesses the purchasing power of perhaps $2 million in real terms compared to what it was worth back then. He lost a staggering $1 million simply by doing nothing. By attempting to be safe, he inadvertently guaranteed his own spectacular failure. Do not, under any circumstances, become that person. Do not permit fear or paralyzing analysis to destroy your financial future. The perfect time to invest is, almost without exception, now. Not tomorrow, not next week, and certainly not only when the market pulls back by a negligible 5%. Because here's an immutable truth. Time in the market relentlessly beats timing the market every single time. I've been actively investing for decades, and I can assure you with absolute certainty that nobody, and I mean nobody, can consistently and accurately predict market tops and bottoms. The individuals who consistently build generational wealth are those who remain steadfastly invested, who continually put their money to intelligent work, and who fundamentally understand that markets, despite short-term volatility and inevitable corrections, trend upwards over the long haul. Here's my immediate challenge to you today. Right now, the moment this video concludes, I want you to meticulously examine your own portfolio. Look at the exact amount of cash you're currently holding. If it represents more than 6 months of your essential living expenses, then you need to deploy that capital immediately. If you don't possess a brokerage account yet, open one without delay. Begin purchasing dividend-paying stocks. Invest in a diversified bond fund or thoughtfully selected individual bonds. Allocate funds to a REIT or a specialized real estate fund. Just get that money working tirelessly for you. Every single day you procrastinate is another day you are actively losing money to the relentless erosion of inflation. Every week you sit on the sidelines is a week you are undeniably missing out on substantial potential gains. This isn't about being reckless or impulsive. This is about being utterly rational. This is about grasping fundamental economic principles and acting decisively in accordance with them. And let me preemptively address those who will undoubtedly say, "But Kevin, I'm genuinely scared. The market feels incredibly high right now. The economy seems so uncertain, I just don't know what to do." First and foremost, the market always feels high to someone. There will always be a convenient reason not to invest. There will always be some looming crisis, some pressing concern, or some geopolitical instability that makes people nervous. If you perpetually wait for perfect conditions, you will, without question, be waiting forever. Secondly, uncertainty is quite simply the price of admission. If you desire robust returns, you must accept some inherent level of risk. However, holding cash isn't eliminating risk. It's merely choosing a different form of risk, the guaranteed risk of losing your purchasing power. Personally, I would much rather take my calculated chances in the market where I possess the undeniable potential to win than idly sit in cash where I am absolutely guaranteed to lose. Now, I understand some of you will remain skeptical. You're thinking, Kevin's just talking his book. He's telling me to invest because that's what he does. And you are absolutely right. I do talk my book. But I talk my book with unwavering conviction precisely because my book works. I have meticulously built immense wealth using these exact proven strategies. I have generated millions, hundreds of millions, by fundamentally grasping that cash is a rapidly depreciating asset and that real assets are the true architects of enduring fortunes. If you genuinely desire different results in your financial life, then you must do things differently. If you aspire to build true wealth, you must cease hoarding cash and immediately commence investing in assets that consistently generate income and steadily appreciate in value. Here is my final unyielding challenge to you. I want you to commit right this very second to taking action, not just thinking about it, not researching it for another 6 months, but actually definitively doing it. Take just 10% of your current cash holdings, yes, just 10%, and put it to intelligent work this week. Buy some high-quality dividend stocks. Invest in a robust bond fund. Allocate to a reputable REIT. Just do something. Get off the sidelines. Once you initiate this, once you witness that money beginning to actively work for you, once you see those consistent dividends hitting your account or your portfolio value steadily increasing, you will genuinely wonder why you waited so excruciatingly long. You will unequivocally kick yourself for all the invaluable time you needlessly wasted simply sitting on cash. And listen closely, I need you to do one more thing for me. If this video has truly opened your eyes, if you're now realizing that you've been making a significant error with your cash, I need you to hit that like button immediately. I need you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And most importantly, I need you to drop a comment below explicitly detailing what you are going to do differently. Are you going to buy dividend stocks? Are you going to invest in bonds? Are you exploring REITs? Tell me your concrete plan, because when you articulate it, when you publicly declare it, you are significantly more likely to follow through. That's simply human nature. This channel exists solely to provide you with the unfiltered real talk that virtually no one else will dare to give you. I am not here to sugarcoat harsh truths or to make you feel comfortable about making poor financial decisions. I am here to tell you the unvarnished truth, even when it is deeply uncomfortable. And the undeniable truth is this: if you're currently sitting on a substantial pile of cash, you are making a monumental mistake. You are actively choosing to lose money. But here's the incredibly good news. You can rectify this today. You can pivot, turn this entire situation around, and begin building genuine, lasting wealth. The proven tools are readily available. The effective strategies work. All that is truly required of you is to take decisive action. So stop making excuses. Stop perpetually waiting for perfect conditions. Get your money working aggressively for you. Your future self will undoubtedly thank you profusely. Now go out there and make it happen.